Peace be to you. This is Omar Abdul Malik, physician assistant and health educator. I'm going to do a quick video on standardized exams. I did one yesterday on trying to overcome anxiety for taking the exams. So today I'm going to talk about what to do the day before exams. So I talked about just the concept of standardized exams, whether you're taking the SAT, PSAT, GREs, MCATs, LSATs, USMLEs, uh, PANTs for PAs. You really can't avoid these standardized exams. They're not going to go away. I talked about why they exist and why we kind of have to take them if you're going to progress in academia and in your profession. Now, the thing that you may want to do the day before exams is a lot of positive talk. This is what I do when I got to take my PANRE, so it's the Physician Assistant National Certification re-exam. So that every 10 years, PAs like myself have got to sit for our boards so we can be recertified as physician assistants. So the day before the exam, I try to do a lot of positive talk, just psych myself up. I'm smart. I'm going to do awesome. I know a lot. Got a lot of information in my head. I can't wait to take this exam, because it's a great challenge for me. And this helps me overcome any anxiety that I might have. It might work for you. Don't compare yourself to the elites. For those of you guys taking the SATs, or actual scored exams like the USMLEs or the GREs, I'll see these YouTube videos of these people saying how I got a perfect score on the SAT or the GRE or the NCATs, and it's like ... and you can too. You might not be able to, probably not. A lot of these people are elitist. There's nothing wrong with that. I am a marathon runner. This is the medal for my last marathon. I finished in 4 hours 11 minutes. The Berlin Marathon, I think that was it September 28th, I believe. This guy ran a 2:01. I believe it was Kenenisa Bekele, if I'm not mistaken. But it was the top 5 runners ran in under 2:08 or under 2:10. It's an elite set of people. I cannot compare myself to them. I can only do the best that I can do. So don't compare yourself to anybody else. Just say, okay, I'm going to do the best that I can possibly do, as long as you do well. And if you don't, you readdress that and take it again. Second thing, try to avoid work, school, events, watching television or listening to the radio. And this is 24 to 48 hours before the exam. You want to try to avoid any type of toxic energy. You want to be in like a zen-like state. That kind of works for me. It may work for you. I can't imagine somebody getting in an argument with your coworker or somebody at school, and then you're still thinking about that the next day. Like, oh, that guy ticked me off so bad, and now you're bringing all that toxic energy with you to the exam. It's difficult for most of us to dissociate from a negative experience, or what we perceive to be a negative experience, and focus on a task at hand. So this is what I try to do. I try to, for 24 hours before the exam, I'll kind of withdraw from people and just try to focus and meditate and pray. Number 3, get enough sleep. Now it's quantitative versus qualitative. I'm always talking about that for those of you guys that have been following me. Qualitative, you want to get good sleep. Quantitatively speaking, how much sleep is that? It depends on you. I'm pretty good with 5 to 6 hours of good solid sleep. You might need 8 to 10. It really depends. You want to practice good sleep hygiene. So for me, it's very individualized. I like all of the lights out. I don't want any noise. You may benefit from taking melatonin or something like chamomile tea, or I think a glass of warm milk might do it for you. Be in a comfortable bed or a couch or a floor, whatever makes you most comfortable. You want to be well rested the next day for that exam. Um, you want to schedule the exam according to your circadian rhythm. I tend to be a morning person. I'm a morning bird. If you're kind of more of a night owl type of person, where you kind of peak up during the late afternoon, if you're able to, you can try to schedule that exam as late as possible. Um, most testing centers, I believe, close around 5 or 6 o'clock. But if you can schedule your exam, depending on the length of the exam, maybe like 1 o'clock. Depending on how long your exam is. I mentioned the MCATs. I think, when I took them years ago, the MCATs were only 5 hours 45 minutes. Now I heard they're 7 hours 45 minutes. I know for me the PANCE exam or the PANRE is it's 300 questions, so it's a little more than 3 hours. But you want to give yourself enough time. So if you're a morning person, try to schedule it as early as possible. If you're a more of a late afternoon type of person, you want to schedule it maybe later in the day. I would suggest doing number 5, do a dry run to the testing site. You want to have a good idea of how long it will take you to get to the testing site. How are you traveling? How long should it take you if it's by car? We've got these great apps on our smartphones now that'll let you know. It always takes longer to walk or bike or take the bus. You may want to use something like Uber or Lyft, or have a friend or family member drop you off. I would not suggest depending on other people to take you, though. They might forget or be late. You trust me on this. I know this from experience. When your exam time comes up, it's very difficult for you to plead your case. When you're late, they say, "Well, listen, you were supposed to be here at the exam testing center at 9 o'clock. It's now 11, and you're talking about the traffic, and your friend didn't get up in time." It's on you. You don't want to rely on other people for your transportation as much as possible. For number 6, have clothes prepared the night before. I would suggest dressing in layers, because sometimes, and I experienced this myself, the center may be uncomfortable for you. Somebody had the air conditioning blasting, because I took my exam during the summer once, so they were overcompensating by having the place freezing cold, and I was miserable. Sometimes it may be too hot for you, but if you dress in layers, you'll be able to take the layers off or put them on. I like doing this, before. If I'm preparing for a marathon, I like to know what outfit I'm wearing, the day before. We marathoners do this. So do the same thing for your marathon exam. All right, number 7, do you need special accommodations? If you have a learning disability or a learning challenge, I'll say. One of my children he's on the autism spectrum, so he needs a little bit more time taking the exam. So make sure by this time the day before, you should have confirmed that somebody's going to be there to be that special proctor that you need. You may have somebody who has to read the questions out to you. There's people that actually get paid to do that, or if they need to have more time allotted for you. If you're somebody who uses a wheelchair, is the place amenable for you to use your wheelchair? Last one, relax. It's just a test. Do not freak out, okay? So I wish you all the best of success in your positive endeavors. Please check my other videos out. I'll tell you a bit about myself. I've been a physician assistant for almost 20 years now. I've got a few degrees in biology, a master's degree, and a doctorate in health education. So I'm very passionate about teaching people and helping people become successful in their positive endeavors. So you can reach me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and of course YouTube and Instagram. Take care. Peace.